Hello, this is Earl Purdy, and I want to welcome you to A Course in Miracles. And we're going to do hardcore Course in Miracles. Aren't you ready to have some peace? Aren't you ready to have some peace? Aren't you ready to have some happiness? Aren't you ready to have some joy that's not something that comes and goes? And how can you get rid of that? How can you have that peace? How can you have that love that absolutely you can count on, that you'll know it will always be there, that won't come and go? Well, we're going to talk about that, and we're going to do that right now in A Course in Miracles. And I want you to know that we can also enjoy ourselves in doing that. I'm going to get this up on my Kindle to make sure that I'm able to see this at the level that I want to. Take a breath and go, okay, I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of being upset. I want to be able to maintain my peace. How do I do that? How can I make sure that I do that? Well, we are going to see what the Course in Miracles has to say about that. And we're going to get into that right now because, it's just insane. I mean, the level of all the things that's going on right now that keeps us from having the kind of peace that we want to have right now. It's just, haven't you reached your limit? I know I've reached my limit. And the Course in Miracles says that there's a way that I can get rid of that. And it also talks about how the way that we allow ourselves to do that is through actually repetition and reminding ourselves of the truth all the time. So we're going to do that. And we're going to make sure that we do that. And we're going to do that together as Course in Miracles students. So just remember that you don't have to believe these ideas. You don't have to accept these ideas. You don't have to welcome these ideas. Some of these ideas you may actively resist. Some of these ideas you may find hard to believe. Those are the guidelines. In A Course in Miracles, you need not believe the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You need not even welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas you will find hard to believe. Some of the ideas you will find startling. We're not going to analyze the Course in Miracles. I never analyze the Course in Miracles because the Course in Miracles says, do not analyze the Course in Miracles. So a lot of times what people think of as studying the Course in Miracles, I've learned after 40 years of teaching and learning it, what people call studying the Course in Miracles a lot of times is just everybody analyzing what they think it means rather than focusing in on what it's telling us to do so that we can get out of the fear, so we can get out of the anger, so that we can get out of the upset. So I'm about the practical application of the Course in Miracles, okay? So if you're interested in a teacher that's about what do I do to get out of this pain, to get out of this fear, what do I do to get into my sanity and stay in my sanity, then this is the class, the presentation for you. And I'm so glad to see you, mighty companions. I'm glad that you're here with me. And we're going to go deep. So we're going to be on lesson 23 in the Course in Miracles workbook. That's in the Course in Miracles book. It's on page 34, page 34. I've been a full-time teacher of A Course in Miracles for over 35 years. When I discovered the Course in Miracles, it impacted me so much that I decided that, and I knew that it was my calling. It was why I was in the world. It's what I was here to do. And so I've done it for the last 35 years of full time. This is what I do. And I want you to know that I've had a chance to work with hundreds and hundreds of people in my one-on-one sessions. And it's been amazing to see how much the Course in Miracles has worked for people who actually use the ideas as opposed to people who actually analyze the ideas. So we're going to now go into it, and we're going to see what the Course in Miracles is telling us to do. I'm so glad to be here. Swipe left to reveal the comments and reactions. Okay. Take a deep breath. I want to ask you to take a deep breath right now and allow yourself to focus in. I want to be able to see your comments, and for some reason I'm not seeing your comments right now. So I want you to take a breath. I'm going to get it up on my other on my other phone so I can see what you're saying and I can actually respond to you. Right now, and allow you. Okay. All right, good. Because I want to be able to see what you're saying so that I can respond to that. I'm glad to see you. You're awesome. And here we go. The name of the lesson is I Can Escape from the World I See by Giving Up Attack Thoughts. So what does that mean? It means that whatever you're going through right now and whatever you're seeing right now that's causing you any kind of fear or causing you any conflict, you can escape from it by giving up any thoughts of attack or fear or anger that you're having right now. Do you know that that's the only way out of fear that will ever succeed? Nothing on the outer that you do to get rid of your fear will ever succeed. Whenever you try to get rid of your fear by just trying to change things in the outer or get rid of your anger by changing things in the outer, that won't work. The only thing, according to the Course, the only way out of fear is to change your thinking and to change your thoughts. That's the easiest way to get out of fear. And the reason why it's the easiest way to get out of fear is because you have control over your thoughts. You have control over what you think. You have control over what you think. You have control over what you think. You don't have control over what I think. You don't have control over what your friends and relatives think. So there is no way that you're going to get rid of your fear and unhappiness if you think that you're going to get rid of that based on anything that you're trying to do necessarily with anything or anyone outside yourself. And that's what it says in lesson 23 in the workbook. It says nothing else will work, which means nothing else will work, which means everything else is meaningless. Everything else that a person tries to do to get rid of their fear and anger and upset is meaningless. But we're going to have the way of getting rid of fear and conflict that does not fail, that will always succeed. And the way to get rid of fear and conflict that will always succeed is to give up our thoughts of attack, to give up our thoughts of fear, to give up our thoughts of anger. So now I'm going to say to you, would you like to hear what I consider to be one of the most important thoughts, one of the most important ideas that the Course in Miracles shares with us? It is every thought you have makes up some segment of the world you see. So every segment of the world you see, everything that you're looking at, every thought you have is making up some segment of what you see. So whatever you see is a reflection of a thought that's in your mind. However you see things is a reflection of a thought in your mind. So what are we going to work with? We're going to work with your thoughts. The Course in Miracles says we're going to work with your thoughts. If your perception of things is going to be changed, if your perception of the world is going to be changed, if your perception of your finances, your relationships, your spiritual growth, your spiritual awakening, if all of those things are going to be, if any of those things are going to be changed, they're going to be changed if we work with your thoughts. So if the cause of the world that you see, if the cause of everything that you're looking at is your thoughts, then you must learn that it's thoughts of attack and thoughts of anger and thoughts of fear and thoughts of separation, which you don't want. What is it that you don't want? You don't want thoughts of attack. You don't want thoughts of fear. You don't want thoughts of anger, jealousy, and separation, because these thoughts are the ones, that is what's causing the way that you feel right now. The way that you feel right now is being caused by your thinking right now. The way that you feel right now is being caused by your thinking right now. Whatever you see in the world right now, however you see the world right now, is being caused by your thoughts right now. So what is the benefit of knowing that you don't want those thoughts that cause you fear and anger and upset? Because it's the thoughts of fear and anger and upset. It's your beliefs that are making your experience. It's your beliefs that's making your perception of your experience. However you see your experience is being caused by your beliefs. Your beliefs make your perceptions, and your beliefs are causing you to feel the way that you feel right now. So there's no point in lamenting the world. What the Course says, there's no point in lamenting the world. Now I'm going to say something that's going to be very radical, but the Course in Miracles says things that are very radical. So what is the radical thing that I'm going to say from A Course in Miracles? The radical thing that I'm going to say from the Course in Miracles is there is no point in trying to change the world. There is no point in trying to change the world. There is no point in trying to change the world. There is no point in trying to change someone else. There is no point in trying to change someone else. There is no point in trying to change someone else. There is no point in trying to change the world, because the world is not capable of change. What? The world, haven't you noticed? The world is not capable of real change. Real change cannot happen by trying to change the outer, because what you see in the outer is a result of thoughts. So if you're going to see any kind of change, then that change is going to have to come from within yourself, within your own mind. And guess what? There's no point in trying to change the world, because the world is just an effect. What we see in the world is the result of all of our thinking. What we're looking at in the world, do you know that what we're looking at in the world is the result of our thinking? So there's no point in lamenting the world. There's no point in lamenting the world. There's no point in trying to change the world. The world is just the effect of the thinking of the people in the world. So until we change our thinking, there's nothing in the world that's going to change. And as long as you're waiting for everybody else to change, then there will never be a change in your experience of your life. I've done this for 40 years. I'm telling you, let me save you some time. Let me save you some time, all right? Especially if you've been in the course under 5 years or 4 years, or you're new, save yourself some time. Everything that you're looking at, everything that you experience, seeing, you are creating that, attracting that, perceiving that based on your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own beliefs, and your own thinking. So there is no point in trying to change the world. And if there's no point in trying to change the world, if there's no point in trying to change other people, then what is the point? Well, it says, but there is indeed a point in changing your thoughts about the world. So what is it that I need to do? I need to change my thoughts about the world. I can't change you, but I can change my thoughts about you. You can't change the world, but you can change your thoughts about the world. You can change your thoughts about the world, but you cannot change the world. You can change your thoughts about the people in your experience, but you cannot change the people in your experience. But if you change your thoughts about your mate, if you change your thoughts about your friends, if you change your thoughts about your job, if you change your thoughts about things, then you're actually changing the cause of what you are going through and the cause of what you are experiencing. So how do you make a change? You change your thoughts about it. Whatever it is that you want to give yourself more peace about, then you have to change your thoughts about it. Okay, you can't change the world, but you can change your thoughts about the world. You can't change another person, but you can change your thoughts about the other person. Now, do you have to necessarily agree with me? Do you have to believe me? Do you have to believe what the Course is saying? No, you don't have to believe anything that I'm saying. You don't have to believe anything that the Course in Miracles is saying. But that doesn't have any effect on the truth of what I'm saying. That's what's the truth. The truth is not dependent on whether or not I agree with it or not. The truth is dependent on nothing outside of itself. The truth just is. And so what is the truth? Well, the truth is, if you want to get rid of all your fear and concern and worry, then you have to give up your fear and concern and worry thoughts. That's the only thing that's going to work. Everything that you're looking at, everything that you're experiencing, it is your thought that is making up everything that you see the way that you see it. So we got to work with your thoughts. Well, what's the advantage of working with your thoughts? Well, the advantage of working with your thoughts is that you're changing your life and you're changing your world the easiest way it can be done. The easiest way to change anything in your world that's making you unhappy is to change your thoughts, because you cannot change other people and you cannot change the world. So whenever you make your happiness dependent on somebody else being different, whenever you make your happiness dependent on somebody else speaking or acting differently, then you are trying to make yourself happy in a way that will always fail and will never work, because you have no control over what other people think or do. So the Course is saying to us that it's going to work with our thoughts if our perception of the world is to be changed. So I'm just repeating that because it's through the repetition and remembering what we're being told that the blessings that we're looking for are going to come. So if what's causing your world, if what's causing your worry is the thoughts that are in your mind, then it's those thoughts that you don't want that are causing your unhappiness. So does that mean there's no point in lamenting the world? There is no point in trying to change the world. The world is just an effect. So you cannot change the world, but you can change your thoughts about your world. You can change your thoughts about your relationships. And when you change your thoughts and beliefs, then you are changing the cause of your experience. And do you know that when you change the cause of your experience, the effect is going to change automatically? So when you change your mind about your finances, your prosperity, your abundance, your spiritual awareness, and your spiritual growth, then the effect in your world is going to change automatically. So when you change your thoughts about something, the effect that you are experiencing is going to change automatically. Now, do you know that the Course in Miracles says the world you see is a vengeful world, and everything in the world you see is a symbol of vengeance? What does that mean? When you look at all the anger and attack and separation that you are looking at in the world, when it says, it's letting us know that the reason why we see so much pain in the world is that we're looking at a form of vengeance and punishment on ourselves. Do you know that the Course says people who have anger, guilt, and grievances, who are full of anger and guilt and grievances, that those people are people who are not loving themselves. And since they don't love themselves, they punish themselves. So when a person does not love themselves, they create situations and perceptions in their life that cause them pain, that causes them hurt. So let me give you an example. If I don't love Earl and Earl is insecure and Earl is full of grievances, and if Earl thinks he doesn't deserve to be happy, then Earl is going to create relationships that cause him pain. He's going to make financial situations that cause him pain. He's going to create sickness that causes him pain. His world is going to become a punishment on himself. So when you're not loving yourself at the level that you should be loving yourself, if you've forgotten that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, and so now you just think you're a regular human being that's going to die one day, if you think that you are just a person that is going to die one day, then you've forgotten your true spiritual identity. And when you forget your true spiritual identity and just think you are a body in the world trying to make it the best you can, that's a form of punishment on yourself. So the Course is saying the world you see is a vengeful world. Everything in the world of fear is a symbol of vengeance and punishment. And therefore, each of your perceptions, do you know that each of your perceptions of outside reality, each of your perceptions of external reality, says it right here. Each of your perceptions of external reality is a pictorial representation of your own attacked thoughts. What does that mean? Everything that you're looking at is a reflection of your own thoughts of attack, your thoughts of fear, your thoughts of anger. So one might ask, if you're only seeing your own thoughts, if you're seeing only the expression of your own beliefs, then could you really call that seeing? If all I'm seeing is what I believe and all I'm seeing is what I think, then is that really seeing what's there? Are you really seeing me if all you're seeing is your beliefs about me? Are you really seeing a person if all you're seeing is your beliefs about that person? If you are just seeing your beliefs about the world, are you really seeing the world? So the Course in Miracles tells us that what you're really seeing every day is a fantasy. When you look at a person, you're not really seeing the person, you're seeing your beliefs about the person. And if you're seeing your beliefs about the person, that may not necessarily be who and what the person is. So if what you're seeing is a belief about a person, then you're really seeing a fantasy. You're really seeing something that's not real about that person. So isn't fantasy a better word for the way we see things? Wouldn't hallucinations, wouldn't that be a more appropriate term for the result? Do you know your mind might be telling you, I don't understand what you're talking about? No, yes, you do. Yes, you do. You are very intelligent. You are very aware. You are seeing what you believe and what you learned. Everything that you're looking at around you is what you learned to call it. When you look at a car, you're calling it a car because you were taught to call it a car. When you look at a telephone, you call it a telephone because you were taught to call it a telephone. So you are really just seeing what you've learned. You only see what you have learned to see. You're only looking at things and describing things and labeling things and naming things according to what you were taught. And if it is not a reflection of the truth, then it's a fantasy. Well, then people ask me, well, then, okay, if I'm looking at a fantasy, if I'm looking at something that's not true, what is really true? Well, the Course says, I'll tell you what's true. The truth is you are as God created you. You are love. You are spirit. You are consciousness. You are awareness. You are more than what you've been taught you are by people who didn't know who you were in the first place. You are unlimited. You are loved, loving, and lovable. You are perfection. And unless you're seeing yourself that way, you're having a fantasy about yourself. You're thinking something about yourself that's not true. So the Course calls that a fantasy. So then it says right here, just do the workbook. We're going through the lesson 23 in the workbook. Then the Course in Miracles says, you see the world that you have made, which is the same as saying you are seeing the perceptions that you have made. Are you aware that the Course in Miracles defines the world as a false perception? So when the Course talks about the world, it's really talking about your perception. Your world is based on your perception. Your world is based on how you have learned to see things. And the way that you've learned to see things, do you know that it's based on the past? So you are seeing the past. Everything that you look at is a reflection of what you have experienced or learned in the past. So the Course in Miracles tells us, you see the world that you've made, but you don't see yourself as the image maker. So you're looking at the world that you've made, but you don't see it as if it's the world that you have made. I'll say it again. You see the perceptions that you have made, but you don't realize that you are the image maker. You are looking at images. When you look at me right now, you're looking at an image. You are the image maker. You are making the way you see me right now. You are making the way you see me right now. You are making the way that you think about me right now. You are making up the way that you see your family right now. You are making up the way that you see your friends right now. You are making up the way that you see your children, your partners, your co-workers, your friends. You are making up the way that you are seeing them right now. You are the image maker. You are the image maker. You are the image maker. You are an image maker. You can't be saved from the world. You can't be saved from your own perceptions, but you can escape the cause of your perceptions. You can't escape the world, but you can escape the cause of the world. You can't be saved from your perceptions, but you can escape from what's causing your perceptions. You can escape from what's causing your pain, your jealousy, your insecurity, your sickness, your upset, your unhappiness. Earl, you can't be saved from it, but you can escape from it because you are the image maker. You are making the way that you feel. You are making the way that you see things. Everything that you're looking at is a reflection of your beliefs. Everything that you're looking at is a reflection of your programming. Everything that you're looking at is a reflection of your perceptions. That's what salvation means. So when the Course in Miracles says you need to accept salvation, it's not talking about the biblical definition of salvation. It's talking about you escaping from everything that causes you pain. You escaping from everything that bores you. You escaping from everything that makes you think you have lack. You must escape from everything that makes you think you are separate from God. You have to escape from everything in your mind that makes you think you're separate from your source. Anything that makes you separate, makes you think that you're separate from God. You have to escape from every thought that you have that makes you think you're separate from your Creator. You have to escape from everything that makes you think you're separate from what created you. So if you get rid of the cause of the pain and the fear and the world that you see, which is your thoughts, the thoughts that you're having that's causing that, do you know that the Course says, where is the pain you see? Where is the world you see? Where is the upset you feel when you get rid of the cause of the upset? Where is the upset when you get rid of the cause of it? Okay, so what is the cause of a person's upset? Well, the cause of a person's upset is their thinking, their beliefs, their thoughts. So salvation means escaping from your ego, escaping from that part of your mind that makes you afraid, escape from that mind talk that you have right now that makes you feel bad right now. That's what's going to be your salvation. Your salvation is going to be getting rid of the learnings and the thoughts that fearful minds of the world have taught you. Your true happiness is not going to happen from believing what the world teaches. What does the world teach? The world teaches you that if you can change everything and everybody outside of you, if you can make everyone be the way that you want them to be, if you can make everybody speak and act differently in such a way that makes you feel good, then you will be happy. That's what the world teaches. The world teaches us that we are separate. The world doesn't teach us that we are divine. The world doesn't teach us that we're spirit beings. The world teaches us that we are victims of every friggin' thing that's going on. You watch the news, that's all you hear is everything you need to be fear of. You read, be afraid of. When you read the papers, sometimes when you talk to your friends, when you talk to the people that you know, they're telling you one negative thing after another negative thing after another negative thing that you need to be afraid of. You have to escape those kind of thoughts. You can't change those people, but you can change your mind about those people. And how I'm going to change my mind about those people is I'm going to see them as experiencing the result of their own fears, that they're experiencing the result of their own thinking. So all of your friends, all of your family, everybody you know, they are experiencing the result of their own thinking. I don't care if it's a child. A child still has their own perceptions. A child still has their own beliefs. So they're also experiencing the result of their thinking. I used to get upset when I didn't get the toys that I wanted to have as a child. So I was making myself mad if I didn't get the toy that I wanted to play with. But that was still me making myself unhappy. That was still me, even as a child, telling myself things that made me feel bad or good. So the truth applies to everybody. You are not the only one that's making the way that you see things. You are not the only one that's responsible for how you see things. Everybody around you is responsible for how they're seeing things and how they're reacting to the things around them. So what the Course says, you see the world that you have made, but you don't see yourself as the image maker. You cannot be saved from the world, but you can escape from its cause. This is what salvation means. For where is the world of fear and separation that you see when its cause is gone? So there's already a replacement for everything that you think you're seeing right now. So if you're seeing anything right now that is upsetting you in any way, there's already a replacement for that. And the Course calls that vision. Whew! What is vision? Vision is your being able to see past what you've been taught. Vision would be you using the interpretations and the meanings and descriptions that the Course in Miracles is giving you, for example. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you're the image maker, but loveliness can light your images. Loveliness can so transform what you are looking at, that you will love what you are looking at, even though it was originally made of hate and fear. So even though you may be looking at things that cause you fear, it can be transformed. What do you mean? Everything that you're looking at that's causing you any kind of upset can be changed, because the way that you're looking at things can be changed. So everything around you can change, but it can change by you changing the way that you're looking at it, rather than you actually trying to change the person outwardly, the situation outwardly. So does that mean that you don't do anything in the external? No, it doesn't mean that you don't do anything in the external. What it does mean is that when you're in what you perceive as the external, that you want to come from a place of thoughts, feelings, emotions, and beliefs that are coming from love, that are coming from truth, that are coming from peace. I'll say it again. Even though some of the images that you have may be images that cause you upset, anger, and pain, those images, the way you are seeing things, can be changed, can be transformed in such a way that you see the loveliness in it. So how do you change your perceptions of fear and upset to a perception of peace and joy? I'm going to give you the secret. The secret is you can't do this by yourself. I'll say it again. You cannot do this by yourself. You cannot have a spiritual awakening by yourself. You cannot totally, completely change your perception of reality by yourself. You need the Holy Spirit. You need your inner guide. You need your inner teacher. A Course in Miracles is not a self-help book that's trying to teach you how to handle things better on your own. If you are just trying to get another teaching that's trying to put you in charge by yourself, then the Course in Miracles, in my perception, is not the correct teaching for you. The Course in Miracles is about removing the blocks to the awareness of God's presence, love's presence in your life. If you want to be an atheist and believe there's no such thing as a higher divine power, if you want to believe that you created yourself and you're here on your own, well, let me tell you, you've already succeeded in that. How can you tell that you've already succeeded in that? Well, a person who is on their own and doesn't have a belief in anything greater than themselves is a person that's afraid, a person that's angry, a person that's insecure, a person that's suspicious, a person that doesn't trust, is a person who thinks that they're doing everything on their own and that they're on their own. So if you don't want to believe in something greater than yourself, if you don't want to have help, if you don't want to have healing, if you don't want to get rid of the blocks between you and that which created you, then if you don't want to do that, then the Course in Miracles is not the correct teaching for you. If you want to get in touch with your higher self, if you want to get in touch with the divine, if you would like to have help in this perception of the world that you have, if you would like to have peace and happiness that lasts, you can't be your teacher of that. You're going to have to let that part of you called God that is able to get rid of your blocks to change you so that you can have the happiness that you're looking for. So then the mind says, well, how do I do that? Well, the way that you do that is you become teachable. You allow yourself to begin to accept that if you're unhappy in any kind of way, and in any area of your life that you are unhappy in, that's the area of your life that you are guiding yourself on your own without God. You want to know what areas of your life that you are handling by yourself? It's the areas of your life that you're not happy in. Whatever area of your life that you don't have peace in, that's the area of your life that your ego is in charge. That's the area of your life that you're in charge of. In case you want to know where you're in charge, is every area of your life that's not working. the areas of your life that you have fear in. So today's idea is introducing a brand new thought. What is the brand new thought that today's idea is introducing? Here it is. It says the idea for today, if it freezes for a second, just hang in there. It's going to come back. Okay, it's a little Wi-Fi glitch going on right now. So it will come back. So stay there. Okay. The idea for today, what idea for today? What is the idea for today? The idea for today is I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. I can escape from the world of fear that I see by giving up thoughts of attack and thoughts of fear and thoughts of separation. That's what it's saying. If I want to get rid of, I want to escape my lack, if I want to escape my sickness, if I want to escape a relationship that makes me want to jump off the top of a building, then I need to give up my thoughts that's causing that perception. That's today's lesson. So what do? Well, first of all, it says, the idea for today introduces the thought that you are not trapped. You are not trapped. You are not trapped. You are not trapped. You are not trapped in this situation that you're in. You're not trapped in this situation or circumstance that you're in. You're not trapped in this relationship that you're in, because you can change the cause of it. If you can change the cause of your lack, you're not trapped in your lack. If you can change the cause of your sickness, you're not trapped in your sickness. If you can change the cause of your unhappiness, that means you're not trapped in it. So what does this change require? If you need a change, then the Course in Miracles says, let me tell you what the change is. What is the first change? It says, this change requires first that the cause be identified. Okay, so what is the cause of the situation that you're in right now? Your thinking, your beliefs, your perception. Then it says, so once you recognize the cause, what do? You let the cause of your unhappiness go. You let the ideas and beliefs and the thoughts that are causing your unhappiness, you have to do what? You have to let those thoughts go. You got to let that thought of anger go. You got to let that thought of guilt go. You got to let that thought of blame go. First, you identify that it's your own thoughts that's causing your fear or your happiness. And if you have a thought, if you have some form of happiness, you have to identify that this unhappiness that I'm feeling is coming from me. My happiness comes from me. My unhappiness comes from me. My joy comes from me. My sadness comes from me. My abundance comes from me. My lack comes from me. My health comes from me. My sickness comes from me. So I have to identify it first. I have to identify the thoughts that's causing my unhappiness. Then I have to do what? He says, let it go. You let the thought that's causing your pain go. You let that thought that's causing your pain go. Why? How do you let the thought that's causing your pain go? Well, you replace that thought with another thought. So if you want to let go of your thought of anger, you have to replace it with a thought of peace. If you want to let go of your thoughts of lack that's making your lack, then you have to replace the thoughts of lack with a thought of abundance. The Course in Miracles says Spirit will never ask you to do something that you're not capable of doing right now and that you would be willing to do right now. So it's no such thing as you saying that you're following God's guidance and it's something that you can't do right today, that you can't do in this very moment. What good, how intelligent would our Creator be if our Creator was always asking us to do things that we're not capable of doing and that we wouldn't even want to do, right? No intelligent God, no intelligent Creator would be asking you to do something that you couldn't do, that it had to force you to do, and that you wasn't willing to do. So love and somebody who loves you would never be making demands on you that you do things that you don't want to do and that you're not able to do. That's why I love the Course in Miracles so much. It makes so much blasted sense. It's so simple. But do you know that because something is simple, that's why people a lot of times will not do it? They won't do it because it's simple. Because they want things to be really complicated. So I'll say this to you again. All right, if you want to change the situation that you're in, that you feel like you're trapped in, first it requires that you identify the cause of what you're going through. And the cause of what you're going through is your own thinking, even if it doesn't look like it. Then you let that thinking go. And then you replace it with something new. Well, the Course in Miracles is full of new thoughts for you to use. So the first two steps, what are the first two steps? The first step is for you to identify the cause of what you're going through, your own beliefs and your own thinking. Then you let it go. And then once you identify what's causing your pain and then you let it go, he says, those two steps you have to cooperate. See, I've got to cooperate. I've got to do what I'm being told right now. I've got to what? Be willing to look at what's causing the thoughts that are causing my pain and upset. Then I have to be willing to let it go. But the replacement, the Course says, the replacement part, that doesn't really require your cooperation. The minute that you recognize what's causing your pain and then you let it go, well, the next step, which is your peace, which is your seeing love and peace in that situation, is going to happen automatically. Your images and your way of seeing things have been replaced. What do you mean, my images and my way of seeing things have been replaced? Yes, the Course in Miracles is giving you any true book, any true wisdom text, even if it's not the Course in Miracles. It's going to give you the loving thoughts and the true thoughts that you need to be thinking if you want to have a change in your world. They're already the correct thoughts to think. That's already in there. So your images have already been replaced. Your beliefs have already been replaced, because you have right here before you in the Course in Miracles, for instance, new thoughts that you can be thinking that will give you a new perception and a new world. So your images have already been replaced. It says by taking the first two steps, identifying what's causing your pain, which is the thoughts that you're having that are causing you pain and upset, then letting those thoughts of pain and upset go, that's going to automatically allow those thoughts to be replaced by thoughts of love and thoughts of joy. And you will see that if you do this. So besides using the idea that you can escape from the world you see by giving up attack thoughts, you need to repeat the idea. And how does the Course in Miracles say you need to repeat the truth? How should you repeat the truth? It says repeat the idea slowly to yourself. Okay, I'm in this situation. I'm making myself feel upset. I know it's my thinking that's doing it. I need to let this negative thought go that's causing my pain. If I let this negative thought go that's causing my upset, then it's going to be replaced. So I need to tell myself I can escape from this situation that I'm in. I can escape the world I see. And I can escape this. He says, close your eyes when you're upset. Tell yourself you can escape the world that you see by giving up attack thoughts. And then the Course in Miracles is not asking us to be positive. It's not asking us to be in denial. What the Course in Miracles says do next is it says, search your mind for as many ego thoughts that occur to you. I want you to search your mind for as many thoughts of attack and thoughts of fear and thoughts of jealousy and thoughts of depression and thoughts of upset. He says, I want you to search your mind for as many of those thoughts that occur to you. And as each negative thought crosses your mind, as each fearful negative thought, each ego thought crosses your mind, say to yourself, oh my God, I'm worrying about my bills. I can escape from the world I see by giving up my attack thoughts about this person. I can escape from the world I see by giving up my fear thoughts about my money situation. I can escape from the world I see by giving up my negative thoughts about my body and my image. I can escape from the world I see by giving up this thought. So you think of the thought that you're upset about it that's causing you pain and upset, and then you say, I can escape from it by giving up my thoughts about it. I can escape from it by giving up my thoughts about it. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts about this person, anger thoughts about this person. What should you do? Well, he says, well, I want you to hold the ego thought in your mind. I want you to hold that angry and depressing thought in mind as you say it. So, and unless you're one of the most positive persons that ever walked the earth, you probably have thoughts during the day that suck. Thoughts that are negative, thoughts that are fearful, thoughts that have some blame in it. You probably have some thoughts like that. So the Course in Miracles says, okay, you got thoughts like that, no harm, no foul, but I want you to look at that thought, and I want you to tell yourself that I can escape from this by giving this thought up. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts about my mother, about my brother, about my job, about this world, about other races, about other people. it says it right here. Hold each attack thought in mind as you say, I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts about, and then dismiss that thought and go to the next one. So if you have another fearful, negative ego thought, then say the same thing. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts about this. In practice periods, be sure to include your thoughts of attacking and anger at others, but also include the things that your thoughts of being hurt, your thoughts of being attacked. You could be the nicest person in the world that would never consciously hurt anyone, but you could be walking around thinking about how many people might attack you or how many people may hurt you. So an attack thought is not just the thought of you're going to attack somebody, you're going to hurt somebody. An attack thought is the thought that somebody's going to hurt you, somebody's going to attack you. That's also an attack thought. That's also a thought of hurt. I'll say it again. You can think of yourself as a person who never would hurt anybody. So when it says escape your attack thoughts, you go, I don't have any thoughts that I'm going to hurt or attack anyone. Okay. But do you have any thoughts that somebody might hurt or attack you? Do you have any thoughts that somebody might do something to hurt you or harm you? Then you have attack thoughts. That's also a thought of attack. So it says, in practice periods, be sure to include both your thoughts of attacking and your thoughts of being attacked because their effects are exactly the same. So the thought of attacking someone also creates attack, and the thoughts of being attacked by someone also makes attack. You don't recognize this. It says right here, you do not recognize this. So a lot of the things that A Course in Miracles is saying to us, we don't recognize it. That's why when it says it, we'll go, well, I don't think that's true about me. I don't have any thoughts of attack. I wouldn't hurt or flee. Yet you're afraid to walk through certain neighborhoods because you think somebody might rob you. That's a thought of attack. Hello? That's a thought of attack. So the Course in Miracles says, you don't recognize this. You don't recognize this yet. And you are asked at this time. At this time, what are you being asked? He says, well, you are asked at this time only to treat your thoughts of attack and your thoughts of being attacked as the same. You're only asked at this time to treat your thought that you could want to hurt somebody or the thought that somebody might want to hurt you. They are the same kind of thought. They are fear thoughts. They are separation thoughts. They are anger thoughts. So what stage are we in? Well, the Course in Miracles says you are still at the stage of identifying what's causing what you're looking at. So you're still at the stage of really finding out what's causing what's happening to you. You're at the stage of finding out what's causing the kind of perceptions that you have. You're at the stage of identifying what's causing your upset. That's the stage you're in right now. So how will you know when you're ready to let the cause of your fear and upset go? How can you tell when you're ready to let what's bothering you go? It's when you learn that thoughts of attack and thoughts of being attacked are not different. When you recognize that none of your fear thoughts are really different, whether it's the fear that you're putting out in the world, or whether it looks like the things that you're afraid of in the world that might hurt you. Thoughts of separation are not different. Whether it's the thought that I get angry and upset and jealous, or whether I think that I could be experiencing the result of somebody else's anger and upset. They are all thoughts of attack. They are all thoughts of fear. And when you realize that, then the Course says you'll be finally ready to let the cause go. So of course, you just heard this. I just went through it with you, right? But why don't we be honest with ourselves? Unless you actually watch this and listen to this or do this exercise over and over and over and over until you realize what it's saying, you're not going to change your mind. And when you change your mind, then everything that's causing you pain will automatically change, and you will experience the kind of joy and happiness and abundance and peace in your perception that the Course in Miracles is talking about. So I'm going to do a quick little thing to complete this and finish it up in just a minute, right? in just a minute. I'm a full-time teacher of the course. If you'd like to make a donation, then please go to my website, Earl Purdy, earlpurdy.com, Purdy, and you can also use Venmo, the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. All you need is my email address, earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. And thank you for sharing with me. I really appreciate you being a channel to support my teaching ministry and allowing me to continue to do what I do, because God is in us. Like when we give things, we say, I want God to take care of this. God is working through all of us. God is the source, but we are the channels. So thank you, those who see enough value in what I do that you would want to share. I really appreciate this so much. Also, I'm available for one-on-one sessions called Clarity Sessions. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people. If you want to have that change that the Course in Miracles is talking about, I don't care what you're going through in your life right now, no matter what you're going through in your life right now, I know the parts of A Course in Miracles that applies to that would allow you to have a healing, and I will work with you to allow that healing to happen in a one-on-one session called a Clarity Session. If you're ready to get rid of that problem, if you're ready to see it another way, work with me. Go to my website, earlpurdy.com, get all the details about what my Clarity Sessions are, and then I'd like you to then, if you would like, if you move to, you can self-book an appointment with me directly from my website. You can self-book an appointment. For those who are also open and receptive to other ways of being guided and to receive guidance from Spirit, I'm also an astrologer and a numerologist. Okay, for those who are open-minded to receiving from Spirit that way, or a combination of both. Sundays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time on Facebook Live, on the Earl Purdy page. I do another Facebook Live on the Course in Miracles. I do it in Denver, Colorado, and you can come in person at 1555 Race Street, 1555 Race Street in Denver, Colorado, 80206. It's also done online at the same time. On Thursdays, I do hardcore Course in Miracles. My focus is going to be on the practical application of these ideas. It is not going to be on debating the theories about the Course in Miracles. It's going to be on what is the Course in Miracles telling you that you need to do to practically have a healing and peace in your everyday life. How can I take this from the abstract, mystical, metaphysical level to me being able to deal on a day-by-day basis in my everyday life? That's going to be my focus. And please invite people to watch these classes and listen to them and watch them at least 4 times, because it's through the repetition that we get the change that we're looking for. So Thursdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Thursdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook. Please share this video. I have hundreds of videos on YouTube, including all the workbook lessons, and I also have classes, audio and video on my website, as well as hundreds of classes on Facebook itself. I'm only here to be truly helpful. I'm here to represent God, Spirit, Jesus of the Course that sent me. I'm here to be a channel for love on the planet. I'm not waiting for anybody else to be loving. I'm not waiting for anybody else to take responsibility. I'm not waiting. I'm going to be the kind of person I want to have in my life. The Course says being is how you have it. If you want to have it, you have to be it. If you will be it, you will have it. But you can't sit back waiting for everybody else to change. You have to be the agent of change, which is only calling for a change in your thoughts and beliefs. And I'm enormously grateful for those of you who tune in, especially live, because it takes a real commitment to go, I'm going to be here at a certain time so that we can interact with each other. Okay, so here we go. Give me 2 minutes and we'll be out of here. You can escape from the world you see by giving up attack thoughts. You can escape from the world you see. You can escape from that fear that you're going through by giving up those fear thoughts. You can escape from the world of lack that you see by giving up any thoughts of a lack. So tell yourself, I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts about whatever. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts about whoever. Thoughts of attack, thoughts of fear. So attack thoughts, ego thoughts are fear thoughts. Ego thoughts are thoughts of fear and separation and pain and upset. Those are attack thoughts. A thought of depression is a thought of attack on yourself. A thought of, there's not really but two types of thoughts. Thoughts that frighten you and thoughts that give you peace. And so you have to give those thoughts up in order for you to have the kind of peace that you want right now. So tell yourself, I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. You can escape from the world you see by giving up attack thoughts. You can escape from the world you see by giving up fear thoughts. You can escape from the world of fear you see by giving up fear thoughts. You can escape from the world you see of lack by giving up your lack thoughts. You can escape from the world you see of loneliness by giving up, by letting go of your attack thoughts. You got to change your thoughts now. You got to change your beliefs. You can't change the world. You can't change the world. You can't change Earl. You can't change the world. So how do you change the world? How do you change the world? You have to first identify the thoughts that you have that are causing what you see. Do you know that every thought, everything you see is coming from the way you see things? It's coming from your beliefs. You are not a victim of the world you see. You can't change the world. You can change your thoughts about the world. You cannot change another person, but you can change your thoughts about the other person. Are you ready? Are you ready now? Do you love yourself to do it differently? Do you love yourself to do it differently? Are you ready? Have you reached your limit? Have you reached your limit? Are you just playing with these ideas? Is it just entertainment? Or is it something that you really are ready to do because you are ready to have the happiness and the abundance and the joy and the kind of relationships that are your divine right? You can escape from the world of fear and separation that you see by giving up thoughts of attack and thoughts of being attacked. Give up thoughts of being hurt and thoughts of being hurt. Mighty companions, doggone it, I'm so thankful that we'll let ourselves listen to the course and hear it for ourselves without analyzing it to death. Whew. Mighty companions, I love you. I appreciate you. We can't do this alone. We don't have to do it alone. You can't change the world. You can change the thoughts about it. You can identify with thoughts that you're having that's causing the world that you see, and you can let those thoughts go. And then God, Spirit, Jesus will replace those thoughts of fear and anger and separation with thoughts of beauty and love and innocence. You can have an entirely different world that you are existing in. It's right here. You can have it. And what's the beautiful part about it is it doesn't depend on what anybody else does. Your happiness, your peace comes from you. Mighty companions, I love you. I'm going to listen to this and watch it because I always do that after I do a class. Because I know first and foremost, I'm teaching what I need to remember and what I need to learn. I trust my brothers and sisters who are one with me. Don't forget, you're juicy and cute. May the course be with you. Share this video. Thank you.